Hello, this is Dane. Welcome to the Filipino Nurse Retires Home. I am your host, okay? I really appreciate all the subscribers. You all made this happen, honestly. Um, it's getting better and better. In fact, I'm getting more views from the OFWs around the world, and I love the comments. Thank you for that, guys. And please share it and make comments. And I really enjoy writing to you in response to your comments. Now, we can help each other by giving feedbacks. So it's not only me who's the source of the information, but you also can teach other people as well as myself in viewing videos like what we have. Now, I'm more and more talking about the psychosocial aspect of the Filipino culture. In this way, every one of us will understand why we behave a certain manner. There's some conflicts within us that we cannot understand. And also for foreigners who is watching the channel, they will understand why a certain Filipino or Filipino wife acts different from the West. So it's a sharing of type of culture we have, okay? Now, we have parts of our culture, like our behavior in a certain aspect of our culture, the behavioral aspect that we cannot understand why it happens. And it's sometimes troublesome. Some are advantageous, but some are disadvantageous, okay? Now, the behavioral aspect of our culture can affect the way we live and the happiness in life, especially with our retirement. That's why I'm touching this very much, um, because it affects the planning of our future. Now, this time I'm gonna talk about the, the feeling of guilt of being privileged in our society. I'm talking about Philippine society. Now, this kind of feeling maybe is less likely to happen in the first world. Okay, this happens maybe in the third world because of feeling of difficulties in life. We work so hard in life all the time in the third world, and maybe this happens also in countries like the depressed countries like the Philippines. So we're so closely knitted family, and we almost cannot detach from our families. We keep on sending people in the Philippines anything we can give, okay? Even with our, aside from our family members, we have to deal with our friends and all the people that are hungry. We tend to give balikbayan boxes to them, okay? And we feel their pain. Why are we like that? We're so full of guilt feeling. And you know what, guys? You are not the only one who experienced that, okay? Because I experienced the same type of conflict inside me till I became like, when I reached 41 years old, when I have my own baby, that's when I realized that something is going on here. It's troublesome, okay? Now, I was fortunate that I was educated when I left. So I'm a nurse, okay? In origin, I am a Filipino, okay? I stayed in the Philippines for 24 years and came to America and live here up to this time. I'm already 62 years old, and you have to do the math. But I still have a lot of influence, and I know what the Philippine culture consists of. That's why I know what I'm talking about. Now, I try to read a lot of books about the psychosocial aspect of the Philippine culture, and this keeps on popping. Why in the world people are guilty all the time, especially the Filipinos? We cannot detach from our families. You know why? I would give you an example, the way I was brought up, okay? My mother and my father were both teachers, okay? They left Luzon originally and went to Mindanao to start schools there. But we were detached from our um, extended families in Luzon. So there's only 6 of us actually living together there. So we started really low, okay? because my mother has modest income, but it was hard life, and I know that because there's about four of us. But she taught us this way when we're growing up. So these are all this kind of conflict we have. The guilt feeling started when we are little because that's during the formative years. Okay, now this is how I was taught. My mom got a talisay nut. Talisay tree is a kind of a tree in the Philippines, and it has nuts in it. The the fruit itself is about this big, and then when you cut it, there's a little nut there, just a little bit, it's about as big as a peanut. Okay, so it's kind of elongated. And she said, okay, Dean, why don't you each one of the cut it in such a way you can divide it into 6 portions, and when you cut it, give each portion to your siblings and the two of us, the parents. So there's about 6 of them. Can you imagine? I have to get a blade to actually cut it, and still it broke off. So, and she said, okay, after you cut it, you start giving each of those portion to the rest of your siblings. My goodness, I did not even taste anything there because it's so small. Can you imagine that? But anyway, it's just that the lesson that you get from there. She said, nobody would be left hungry. When one succeed, you have to help the rest of the family. That's how it started. It all started. And one thing my mother did, though, it might be a little bit troublesome to me, but one time she told me um, that she said, if in case we're gonna die, you have to help each other and be prepared to feed the rest of the family. That's what she said to me. And it was embedded in my head that I have to do it. So when I left Philippines and go to America, I have to spare maybe a portion of my salary, and I start sending money back home. Okay, actually my sisters were already educated except for the youngest one that I have to help. She became a med tech and um, went to finish being a doctor, medical. No, she's a surgeon. She's an otolaryngologist, and I helped my sister go to school. Okay, that was expensive, but that's how we thrive. And this sister of mine later on helped my nephews and became professionals. Okay, so that's how those help trickle down to the rest of the family. Can you imagine if I have to help the rest of my extended family? I kid you not. One of the OFWs are sending money left and right when their children and when their siblings would have to start having a family on their own and have to sustain them from elementary maybe to college. And sometimes I still have that guilt feeling up to now, okay, with my neighbors and my caretaker. I still send some old clothes there, and I still have the feeling of guilt there from every now and then. I became aware of that kind of conflict inside me when I was 41 years old, when I have my own child. And I said to myself, okay, now I have my own family. I'm gonna start saving for my family, and if they will not survive, my family in the Philippines, then it's their fault. Okay, so I started backing off. But I still gave a little bit here and there, some money for my mom and my dad to help them out with their subsistence, like their medications. But anyway, some OFWs, sometimes they would have to help the rest of the people around them, like extended families. That's why, guys, you have to put limit on that, okay? So that you can plan for your retirement. You really have to think about yourselves, okay? I know it's good to help, but it should not be a guilty feeling in you, okay? Try to overcome that, and I'm going to give you some sort of steps also, ways how to overcome that, okay? That kind of conflict in you, the guilt feeling, how to overcome that kind of guilt. And hopefully I can do the video later on after this one. And thank you, guys. I hope that you learn a little bit about what I told you, how your personalities had developed and why you have this kind of guilt feeling, and maybe your parents did other stuff to make you feel that way, okay? So, guys, nothing is bad about helping, guys, but please put some limitation into it so that you'll have a good retirement. Thank you, and may you'll have a good day, and God bless. Bye-bye.